Hey out there. This is October 14th, 2016. It's a Friday here in Northern California where it's about just about a minute before 10 in the morning. And I'm just reviewing notes here from current event notes and other stuff I wanted to talk about today. But, I might as well first start with Donald Trump's latest faux pas, these tapes being released. Now, one thing I want to say right away is that California is a two-party consent state. In other words, if Donald Trump did not know he was being recorded and this was being saved, then this is a felony against this Bush character, Billy Bush, and the NBC, New World Order. I was going to say it was a Freudian slip there. I was going to call NBC the New World Order Network. But obviously these people are working in concert with Hillary Clinton trying to get her elected. They've got the same lady reporters out there doing the same thing. Katie Turd and Alan Greenspan's wife, what's her name, and Hallie Jackson, what a beautiful woman. But I tell you what, I'm not clear where, these people are coming from. And like I saw pointed out on the Alex Jones channel recently with Owen Schroyer and the gals talking about how deceptive the media is. If they're on one side or the other, they need to let the public know straight up. Just like, anything I report, where I'm coming from and the reasons why, I believe that Trump is the best candidate. He's the closest thing, I believe, to JFK that we've had for a long, long time. I believe he's an egalitarian. This is why I like the man. He believes in prosperity. He believes that if America doesn't set a good example for the other countries, that's why we've got to get our own act together, then we're useless to every other country out there. We've got to get it together here. We've got to let poverty dry up through sound money, through sound economic policy. And Donald Trump, I believe, is the guy to do that. This is going to dry up your drug use, your abortions, your prostitution, all the sundry crime related to financial desperation. It's going to dry up all these dubious wars. It's going to dry up the debt. All the problems suddenly disappear and all the evil people become rendered irrelevant. They've got the big challenge of finding something else to do with their time besides messing up people's lives. But, I feel like I'm going to go into a rant here when talking about, Donald Trump and the P word, okay? Because to me, I don't find the P word offensive at all. In fact, I like it. I mean, it's a double entendre, okay? Which means it has two meanings. I mean, who doesn't love a pussycat? Doesn't everybody remember that song by Tom Jones? What do you think he was talking about? What's new, pussycat? Whoa, whoa. Everybody remembers the song, okay? Okay, a woman, is a beautiful thing. And a kitty cat is a beautiful thing. A pussycat, okay? And to say pussy is not, to me, vulgar, okay? It's to me, I mean, it's probably more vulgar to use the anatomically correct term, which, of course, everybody knows, the V word, okay? But I don't personally like the P word when it comes to my parts, okay? I find that demeaning. I just don't like the term. I don't like my genitalia being described the way it's supposed to be. The anatomically correct way is another P word for the male. I don't like that. So, what's something perhaps that sounds more masculine, which would be a C word, okay? Which most people know. It's the male version of a chicken, a rooster, okay? It's another word for that. It sounds more masculine and, manly, right? So anyhow, that's my feeling on that. But of course, you can't use the C word for the woman. We all know that's a big no-no. That's comparable to the N word, okay, right? And which we all know we never use. Now, last week I was getting on Alex Jones's case for using the term, and just him. I never gotten on anybody else's case for using this term. I might have made mention of it, but it's not easy to correct people. And, especially guys, we're all so flawed that it's really hard for us to correct anybody. So, I want him to know I'm not judging him, I'm not judging anybody. I want people to feel free to say whatever they want around me. I am not a prude in any way. And, it's just that, I can't hide from how I feel about, the term, the GD term, okay? It's unnecessary. And for a guy with the intelligence level of Alex Jones, the genius that he has, repertoire of words that he has, okay, it's beneath him to use term like that, especially since he's in the limelight so much, in the spotlight so much that he influences millions upon millions of people, and it's not a term that I want to popularize, and I'm sure that he doesn't want to be responsible, his family and associates, friends, and everybody else that knows him personally. So that's all. As a friend, I would say, hey, it bums me out. You know what I mean? I will have to be honest with him that, it bummed me out. And, probably in time learn not to say it because he didn't want to bum me out. But nevertheless, it's not a big deal. I'm not judging anybody that's used it. I mean, that's not my place to judge anybody or condemn anybody. We sure see the mainstream media crucifying Donald Trump over his statement, okay, about groping a woman's private parts, okay, which everybody knows is not okay. Groping is not okay. We all know, look at what Arnold Schwarzenegger, he got the name Gropinator or something, I mean, he was so handy. How does Slick Willie, okay, he's not skating. Lately, he's not skating on what he did. But, I mean, what's coming out now is women are saying, look, straight up, Bill Clinton raped me. Women are willing to go before. Look, he settled one case with Paula Jones for over $800,000. So, this is for real. This is the real deal. Okay, it's a mystery to me and to a whole lot of other people how this family is still seeking power in light of the shame they've brought this country. How many years did America get dragged through the mud under Slick Willie and Monica Lewinsky? Okay, where is the mainstream media on this? Okay, and these women that say they're the liberal party, the Democrats or the liberal party, okay, and they're going to vote for Hillary Clinton because she's a woman, because she's a Democrat, when she's taken 20% of her campaign funding is coming from Saudi Arabia, probably the most oppressive nation to women on the face of the earth. These people, it's a piece of crap nation. Okay, let's put it that way. They're cutting the heads off people. I mean, if I was over there in Saudi Arabia reciting verses in the Bible, I'd get my head cut off. Okay, so what in the hell? What the hell's going on here? This is maddening. So when Alex Jones says it's like these people are demon-possessed, I mean, it is. It is like they're demon-possessed. What the hell's going on here? Okay? Bill Clinton is a rapist. That's what's come out. That's a matter of fact. Do you want a rapist stalking the halls of the White House unabated? Okay? None of us do. So why would anybody think we even have a choice? Okay? You've got to vote for Trump. He's got to, yes, I agree that he's got to stop saying stupid things. And he knows that too, and his family's making no bones about that either. Human, though. We're all human. You think I haven't spoken crudely and vulgarly? I have. Of course I have, like every other guy. I don't like it. I've heard locker room talk. You know what? You grow up, guys. I mean, sure, get a life. That's my attitude. I walk away from it. It's boring. I don't engage in locker room talk. I'm not into dirty talk. I never got into the 900 numbers, 8, whatever the numbers are where you call and talk dirty, okay? But everybody knows, too, that women can be some of the worst offenders in this regard. In fact, for porn, what's in men's mind is visual. It's images of nude women, let's say. Okay? But for women, it's often, the other kind is like they want to read it in a book, something that stimulates. Okay, but we all know that they can talk very dirty. They're just like us. It's just at the opposite end. Of course they are. I mean, they're the receivers of what we're given. And we all the guys know what we're giving them. And they know. And they talk about it. Of course they do. It's a big deal. Having sex is a big deal. So, especially for women. I mean, it's much more serious for women. Guys, they often are thinking with their wee-wee, and they don't think about the implications for the woman that she might get pregnant. Just like is coming out with Danny Williams, Bill Clinton's son, from a prostitute he slept with. Okay, this is a fact. I mean, this all it jives. It makes sense. It's all true. It's all real. And they did some phony DNA test. They haven't taken a test to know that this is his child. So what? What's new under the sun? All of a sudden, we're Victorian Puritans and prudes now. When they're promoting gay pride parades and people dating around naked in the streets in front of our children, all this great grandiose decadence that we're engaging in, and all of a sudden, Donald Trump said the P word, OMG, it's the end of the world, all this guy, Hillary Clinton, obviously a man like that's not fit for the White House. And she is, took the instructions like a good loyal Nazi soldier to allow stand down in Benghazi and allow ISIL to take over and to murder Gaddafi? A good socialist, a good socialist. You heard it right. There are good socialists, egalitarian ones that care about people. They care about economic justice. They know this is the core of the problems of humanity. Nobody wants to be subjugated. Get that through your heads, and nobody deserves to be. Whose planet is this anyhow? It belongs to all of us. All of us have a right to share in this planet. The reason I wanted to preface my ranting, that I knew I was going to get into it, is because, I got to watch my blood pressure, just like all people out there. You've got to watch your blood pressure. If you want to live, a long life, have longevity, which I wouldn't mind. I mean, just like everybody else, there's sometimes where you could care less if you die tomorrow. I mean, you're sick and tired of the problems in the world and all that. And that's why I say, let's work toward a world we want to live forever in, because that's our destiny, is to be like the angels. We've got a very high calling. Which reminds me, I watched an episode of Cops this morning, and one of the clips on there was this cop had pulled this guy over. This is dash cam footage from the cop car, and this guy jumps out of his car, black guy, and he starts shooting right away, just guns a-blazing, just trying to pull the cop away, trying to murder this cop in cold blood. Okay, this is what happened. And the cop was down, of course, and millions of other cops came, and the canine units got there, and they went hunting for this guy. And I'm thinking, oh my God, you psychopath, and I'm just thinking to myself, I hope they let that dog tear into this dude for a little while. This is what I'm thinking. And then I had to think, what is the mind of God thinking? So like everybody else, I'm fallible. I'm subject to being human, okay? We all are. We have to admit that we can separate. This is what the whole idea of being a sinner is. And Jesus showed us how easy it is to separate from righteousness and goodness as defined from above, okay? From Him. This is where our opinion should come from. What is God's will for in every situation? Some people will say, well, maybe it is God's will. God created the dog, and the dog instinctively wants to rip into this guy. Maybe he knows what an tard this guy is, okay? And so, who's to say? So maybe I'm right to, hope the dog, tears into this guy a little bit, okay? And thankfully, the cop was only injured, I guess, hopefully lightly in the leg or something, but, it's still a serious wound anytime you get hit by a bullet. But the point I'm trying to make here is that we need to step back all when it comes to forming our opinions, our thoughts, our beliefs, and therefore the things we say, the things that we prescribe to. Okay, we always need to remember to consult the higher power. That's the mind of God, and make sure it's consistent. Always keep ourselves in check. Use your conscience as a check valve and say, am I really being the kind of person I want to be, or could I be a better person if I glean my beliefs from Him, in regard to this issue or that issue, to have the highest and deepest understanding of stuff, to be the opposite of short-sighted, to be long-sighted, to be the opposite of small-minded, to be large-minded, and step back and be circumspective and see the whole big picture, and also see the small picture, the introspective within ourselves picture. Searching our hearts and searching our own souls in order to gain the right opinion, so that we can go forth and edify and instruct people properly. Because after all, if we're not doing that, we're not helping God at all. We're not being His friend. If every word that I say doesn't edify in some way, it's useless. Everything I do and say is of no avail, is to no avail. Just because I'm a sinner, does that mean I can't say useful things? No, it doesn't. All of us can, but we've got to understand who's giving us these good things. Who's helping us to stand in the storm? For me, when I put goodwill toward all men in my heart, and I love everybody, do you think that means for a second I don't believe in self-defense? I do. I believe in the defense of others. I believe in law enforcement. I believe in angels. I believe in God. I believe that God ultimately is the judge, jury, and executioner, and He uses righteous, holy beings like the angels and the righteous men of the earth to mete that out. But we've got to do it the way He wants us to. So it's so important to always consult Him. That's through the Holy Spirit, which is available to all of us all the time. It's always here, trying to bless us, trying to comfort us, trying to encourage us and strengthen us, and giving the right words to say to help win friends for God. Because after all, that's what it's all about. It's about winning treasures. These are the treasures that he desires are us. It's you and me. It's the human being, the soul. So those have to be the same treasures that we value. So that we're on the same page as him. We're of one mind.